Wayne grew up in this neighborhood, and his mom lived right over on just a few streets over, and she called us and said, there's this crazy house that I've been driving by, and it's got a HUD sign on it, there's going to be an auction. And Wayne had just gotten signed to Warner Brothers, so we had a little money to do something with. I found out that it was built in 1936. The marble in the house was scraps from when they built the courthouse downtown. And the railing on the stairs came out of a theater that they tore down in 1925, 29, somewhere in there. White porcelain bricks in the kitchen were from a drive-in that got built. It was one of the first drive-ins. It may have been the first drive-in, it's debatable, in Oklahoma City. One of the things that I like about both the light in the kitchen and the fan, they have an industrial sort of a feel about them, and I really like the combination of industrial things with fun things, and I just think it makes it seem...
Well, it is ridiculous.
It's just a cool combination.
Yeah, it just looks cool. And plus, we have the room up there.
It's like equipment, and you know.
Yeah.
I guess I just like that kind of thing.
I think it's yeah. If you can do whatever you want, you just do it.
Well, you try to. You should try to anyway. You should always try to do whatever you want.
Yeah. But usually when you start running into some dilemmas, someone will come and say, you know, it's a lot of money and it's silly and it'll take forever. Why not just get the normal light down at the regular store? And you go, yeah, you know, you're right. And you turn on TV and you don't care. You know? But I think we're just sort of used to that. Yeah. It's sort of like, you know, it's worth the battle. It's worth the stress. It's worth waiting for. It's worth all those things. And then you get it and it's there. It's like, wow, it really does do that thing that art really is supposed to do. It's supposed to just make you remember, oh yeah, you know, we could go for it. And then life isn't just normal and average, and you know, it really can be like, wow, that's a strange fan in your room. It's, you know, it's like, well, why not? Yeah. But it does take effort, yeah. It's some of the joy of it is the pursuit of it, you know, the pursuit of trying to make that thing happen. And so, but there's some danger in it.
It's awesome when it works out.
To get exactly what you want, and then you look at it, you're like, oh, that's what we wanted. Okay.
Ours doesn't quite take up the whole ceiling, but it takes up a good enough piece that it's oversized and impressive.
Our house does kind of, you know, fit the fan. Yeah.
It does, I know. Big Ass Fans was generous enough to help us out, and it's just, we've lucked out. We get to be the first people to have this cool fan.
And part of the name is going to stick.
It has to. It's the first thing people say. Regardless of how refined you are, you can't help but say, that is a Big Ass Fan. To keep things straight, this has actually become the Big Ass room. It is the big room in the house, so you can keep straight which room you're talking about.
So now the company's actually just influenced our whole house. It's Wayne's Big Ass house.
The space that we're in right now, this was actually the garage of the original house. I was looking for a place to put a ceiling fan in the living room, and it's always hard to find a good ceiling fan in the living room. You got Modern Fan Company and all those folks that make the little rinky-dink things, and they just never feel right. And so it seemed appropriate to get something that's actually going to function rather than a little whirlwind of air. And I was familiar with Big Ass, and at least I tried to put it in several projects, more commercial projects, and the new element here was the perfect fit, and so we're happy about that. And it really ties the room together. You know, the typical fan, when everybody thinks of in their house, is a, you know, what are they, 42, and then when they're big, they're maybe 60 inch, which is 5 feet, and that's 12 feet. And think of the comparison of a 5 feet fan moving air really fast, and that's the only way it's going to move as much as this. It's the slow churning of air that keeps the comfort, and I knew about all of that, and so it's partly why I was interested. It was beyond just aesthetics. And the little fans, they're good for cooling if you sit right under them, but that's about all you get. Design is really important to me. That's probably what's maybe unique about my firm within this region, is we're all about kind of the importance and the expression of the project. And so when you're placing a manufactured product, whether it be a light fixture and all of that, I'm not just looking at it for function. That's very important, but if it's going to show, it's got to look good. A lot of lighting I do, I hide the lighting. A fan, you don't hide a fan, so it's got to look good. And this one actually looks really good. I know when we first entered this fan venture, we worked quite a bit with Big Ass to make modifications. Big Ass was willing to do whatever we wanted. And it was during that process that we figured out that, hey, the fan looks perfect the way it is, just send it on.